Yeah, speaking of tattoos, I'm ready to do my other side, and I don't know what to do.
Extend it?
I don't know if I want to extend it or if I want to turn it into a floral thing that then feeds into the flowers. Yeah. I don't know. I need artists' advice. Plus, I need a little bit of work on the existing one.
And a lot of
In my heart. But anyway, so not concerned about pain over here until she gets over to the ribs. Then that absolutely makes me butt walk off the chair.
That was a great line.
Yeah.
To get stuck on.
Good evening, everyone.
That was a good line.
Yeah.
We're back again.
Here we are.
Hello.
It's the Todd-Cast. I'm Chuck.
Yes, I'm Chris.
I'm Alyce.
And tonight we're going to be doing something a bit of a departure from what we normally do.
Mm-hmm.
I have decided that we're going to do a 3-part series, and it's Get to Know Your Todd-Cast.
Yay!
Cheesy music here. And tonight we're going to start with Alyce. We're going to interview Alyce. Now, you guys have, if you followed what we've been doing, you know that Alyce is a biologist / zoologist.
No, I'm a zoologist.
Okay, fine. She's not a biologist, she's a zoologist.
No, because
So
I have focused on animals.
Yep.
So it's all zoology.
Okay, fine.
2 weeks of botany. That's all I got.
And that was enough for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Regardless, she went to school for this, so she took a lot of biology. And tonight we're going to learn a little bit more about Alyce and about where she got her inspiration, what she did, and how she got from where she was to where she is now. And we'll be going through each of us later on in the series. The one after Alyce will be Chris, and the one after Chris will be me. And it's the interchange of, well, okay, honestly, this is our first chance and our first try for interview. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of weirdness.
Yes, we figured this out.
There's going to be a lot of mistakes, and we're going to make them, and it will be lovely. And yeah, it'll be fun. I think it'll be fun. So
I think so.
are you ready, Alyce?
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Do you know really what you've gotten yourself into here?
Well, yes.
I don't think so. No, 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 no. I don't think so. No.
Maybe?
Oh, no, but I just was like, I'm not in your house, so I'm not here to fight for not going first. So that's why I was like, figures I'd go first. But I also realized that I'm always going first anyway
Right.
when we do things.
'cause it's
So
from the
it was like,
outside
okay.
in.
Because it's the pattern.
Yeah.
We work our
So
way up.
anyway, yes,
and
I'm
back.
fine.
And you guys will have to excuse me tonight. I know my voice is much more deep, much more resonant, much more raspy. I'm still recovering from a cold, which is why we didn't do a recording last week on schedule, because I was still recovering from whatever
he was
crud that
still
I
in
caught.
the throes of it, not recovering from it.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Anyway,
Anyway.
so onward. So in interview mode, and we'll cue cheesy interview music here.
Oh my goodness.
It's going to be fun.
I just asked me the question.
The editing is going to be amazing. Okay.
Is this morning talk show or is this evening? Like,
Oh, this is like 60 minutes type.
Ew, no.
Oh yeah. It'll be fun.
Not that exciting.
Okay.
Or dramatic.
Or meet the press type thing. Something
Again,
like
okay.
that.
not that exciting or dramatic. That's not who I am.
So, okay, fine. Then it's more along the lines of the actor's studio.
I don't have a favorite cuss word
Okay. All right.
because mom watches this.
Due to technical difficulties, we lost 1 minute and 28 seconds of our recording. We now rejoin our podcast already in progress. Apologies to our audio-only audience. So, yes, as we discussed, yes, it's Grandpa's birthday and everything. And we normally have, well, not normally. There's this unspoken tradition. Well, it's not unspoken. It's almost a demand now that we go have onion rings to honor my grandfather,
Yes.
who loved to eat onions
Yes.
in every way possible.
Yes.
And while I discovered that later in life, actually like onions now.
Mhm.
Before, when I was younger, I did not. So I never really understood him sitting there at the dinner table eating rings of cut onion
Or the green onions.
just
like, yeah.
because,
There they were, yeah.
you know, and it was just, yeah. So there it is. But anyway, enough about that. Alyce.
Yes, sir.
Let's start with a question. I think this is important because everybody knows that, yes, you have this
Yeah.
deep love of zoology
hmm
and the whole 9 yards. So my first question for you was, what was the first thing that you remember that gave you the inspiration to take this on as a career?
I don't know. It's kind of there's an extension answer to this, which is going to be a running theme.
It's a rich tapestry.
So I don't ever not remember wanting to be around or with animals. Like that has been, and you can attest for that too, Chuck.
Oh, yeah.
That has been my thing. I've always, I was rescuing cats in the backyard. I was, we'd go to the zoo. My animal things were my favorite thing. So I don't ever remember not having that as my calling. What I do now, I actually discovered when I was interning at the Denver Zoo. I full long thought I was going to be keeper, trainer, that 100%. But when one of my mentors there was like, because I would always talk to people doing the work, and I would just answer the questions, and I never shied away from it. And side note, I was a tour guide at the state capitol for 2 summers, and I loved it. I thought that was one of my favorite things I ever did as a job. And I made the statement one day, I was like, if I could do that and this and find a way to do that together. And then she was like, well, why don't you think about education and working in the education departments? But I was like, I don't want to give up the animal stuff. She's like, they do both. So that's how I figured out and was guided into what I do now. What I do now is I am leading education department at a facility here in Denver, and have had that be my path the whole way. And I got a job immediately out of college doing that, doing both things, animals and teaching. So that's how I found that was what I was supposed to do in this industry. And because I'm not afraid of talking to people. And one of the stereotypes of folks in my industry who work with and around animals is that they'd rather work with the animals and not the people. So they like to hide away. So a lot of the keepers and everything are just not used to or comfortable talking to the people. So that's why they leave it to the education side of things. I love it. I fill my bucket doing that. So that's how I got there. As far as working with and around animals, I knew from a very early age that this was going to be my path. Somehow I didn't at 5 years old, I didn't know I'd be an education manager, but I did know I was going to be working with animals.
So then tell us about your schooling, how you got here.
I have a zoology degree, Bachelor's of Science in Zoology from Colorado State University. I also hold a certified interpretive guide certification through the National Association of Interpretation. So my degree and that certification kind of are the two bigs of things in my industry that qualify me to do what I do. The National Association of Interpretation, it's not translating a language. It's actually a methodology and a pedagogy that does delivering of information in a very small bit. So it's actually developed for the National Park Service with Aldo Leopold. There's this whole thing. I'll go off on that. But anyway, it was a lot of park rangers are certified interpretive guides. It's a great group. There's a lot of great things about it. It's very formulaic in how you deliver the information, and it's really designed to give people information in very digestible chunks, because sometimes the fear of delivering information is that people are like, it's science class, right?
Yeah.
Nobody wants to do that, but they like the fun. They like it fun. They like it interesting. They like being curious. And in being an interpreter, you're inviting people to be curious and ask questions and discover, which is a really great thing when it comes to animals and stuff, because people are naturally curious. And
Yeah.
they're like, why is it doing that? Why is it doing that? Okay, let me tell you. You know, like there's natural questions, and people are natural scientists when it comes to that. And I think people don't realize that questions is the start of all science.
Yeah. Curiosity.
And it's curiosity and that natural of what's going on. That's how science begins. And science is not, it's a way of trying to look at the world to figure out and ask more questions.
Yeah.
It doesn't have all the answers. And I think a lot of people don't understand that. Well, I'm making a very blanket statement. People expect scientists to have all the answers, and scientists are discovering answers and asking more questions. We never know it all.
Right.
We're never going to know it all. We are.
Whoever says they know everything about a topic is not.
And any scientist you've
Yeah.
ever come across, they're never going to be like, this is it. No, there's always more to learn. There's always more to discover.
And next we want to learn this.
And that is science. Science is discovering things, figuring out where you're wrong.
Yeah.
Pivoting and then asking more questions to discover more things, to make more pivots, to know more. And it's always this pivoting and actually know more. And I think that needs to be said, because I think people have put scientists as these having all the answers, and that's not science.
No.
Science does not have all the answers. Science has more questions.
Right. Yeah. It's funny because in my line of work, which I know we'll get to in a couple of weeks, but I manage a group of trainers. And they go to a class to learn how to be trainers and teach adults, which is different than teaching children. But even within adults, it's the curiosity and the play where you remember things.
Active
best.
learning.
Active learning.
Yeah, participatory learning. You don't remember what you're spewed at. You have to do it and then teach somebody else, because that's the best way to learn something.
Yep. And that there's different types of learners.
Yeah.
And so some do absorb it best with lecture, orally or through written word or whatever. But I think everyone enjoys the tactile stuff most.
Well, that's what sticks. Continue on with your question. I interned at Denver Zoo, like I said, to kind of get my hands and feet wet in the industry. And then I beyond blessed to get my very first AZA accredited job right out of school.
Yeah, that's amazing.
I graduated, and 7 days later I moved.
You probably already answered this, but maybe there's a different angle of what specific area of zoology interests you the most.
So I am a behaviorist. So animal behavior, what they're doing and why they're doing it are my two big things. So I am really into making observations, watching what's going on, what behaviors lead to other behaviors, what it really leads to kind of that purpose and place that living things have in their ecosystems, and the connections they have with other living things, and the design that they have to be there, and what impacts happen if they're not there. So animal behavior is really kind of centered in those connections and why they're doing what they're doing. So and I grew into that. I think I am a mammals girl from the start. I have always wanted the fuzzy, cute. I'm a girl, so I love dolphins. It's a joke in the industry, but it's true. But I also grew into learning about other animals and why they're doing these things, and those, so I'm animal behavior.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
It does sound fascinating.
And I'm not one to go to another zoo or aquarium and just kind of, I'll do two things. I'll either blast through because I'm like, everybody's can't wait on me. Or when I go by myself, I'll stand in front of something for a long time and just watch. So
yeah. Yeah.
All right. So to go back to your first zoologist job.
Yeah.
What was it exactly? And I was going to say, expand on it.
Yeah. So my first job was at Marine World Africa, USA. I was hired as a camp counselor right out of school. And then 2 weeks later, there was a shift in the department and a full-time job opened up. So I was offered one of those jobs. again, blessed beyond blessed that, all of that was meant to be. So I was one of their educators, and along with that, we had a collection of ambassador animals that we were responsible for their care. So I took care of ferrets and rabbits and bats and parrots and chinchillas and geckos and snakes and all of those, the things that you could handle and teach with kids and adults and other humans. I knew it was right for me because I loved it. And we taught the field trip classes. We wrote camps. We did workshops, exhibit talks, all of the stuff that I do now. And that's, out there at Marine World. Marine World doesn't really exist anymore. It's now Six Flags. Actually, I think it's still Six Flags. Unfortunately, the reality of facilities in my world is they're non-profits or not-for-profit organizations, which means that everything is dependent on ticket sales and people through the door. And that's very dependent on economies and the economy. And my first introduction into all of that was not even a year. I was 10 months in, and the place I was working filed for bankruptcy, and then they were taken over by a corporate, and I didn't have a job. Mm-hmm. So that was a rough lesson to learn at 23. 24 years old, and being far away from home. So I moved home. So that was my first job in an AZA accredited institution. After that, I did some outreach stuff for Science from CU. And then in 1999, Ocean Journey was opening, and I applied for that. My connection to that is that the people who were opening the aquarium here in Denver used to work at Marine World.
Oh.
So I had connections that way and was able to make some inroads there. So
okay.
I know between some of your AZA jobs, you taught.
Yeah.
So tell us
taught formal school. I
yeah.
went from the informal world to the formal world.
And so tell us about being a teacher.
First things first, I'm not designed to be a formal educator in any way, shape, or form. There's a lot of similarities, but I don't thrive, if you will, teaching a set curriculum and giving kids grades and making sure that they're responsible for having this knowledge as they walk out the door. I am much more comfortable in a world where it's informal. They're coming to me to learn about a specific thing that I am expert in now. So I didn't thrive there. So
what was your favorite thing about that?
I think that my favorite thing about teaching in the classroom was making the connections with the kids and the families.
Yeah.
And being able to share my path and my real passion. Because on Fridays I do Ask Me Anything, and the kids could ask me anything. I would reserve the right to not answer something. You can ask it. I can say I'm not going to answer it. And that would be what we would do on Fridays. And it was always animal stuff and questions and things like that. So it was always me being able to do what I wanted to do, and was better at. So that was what I liked about it. What I didn't like about it was giving grades and dealing with the formality of stuff.
So I'm going to ask the same question about teaching in like your current role.
In the informal world?
Favorite and most challenging.
I mean, I like being able to be that core memory aha moment person in somebody's life that I didn't know that, and now, or I remember doing this. There's actually several staff members at the aquarium now who work at the aquarium who took my classes that I created out of my brain. And now that they're doing this is for a living. Like,
wow. So
that's my legacy there.
Nice.
And they say, I knew I was going to do this when I did the marine biologist for a day or the zoologist for a day. I knew that was my career. And now here I am. And I'm like, that came out of my head.
Wow.
Like that was, so
right.
That's what I like best about it, and seeing that happen. What I like least about it is and this is, I'm going to pause here because it's when it has to turn into a job.
Well, I was going to say it is a job.
It is a job, and there's
there's
peopling, and that's always the biggest challenge, I think. Because people are my job too. I play with kids and animals for a living. Let's be honest. But when I have to,
well, you manage a staff.
I manage a staff. Yeah. So when I have to deal, those are the parts that I don't like it when it gets tough. I guess
I agree.
You know.
Yeah.
So,
I bet that's just a people
it's
manager.
Peopling and it's management and it's leadership.
Like you say, it's so cool when you're working with a staff who's like, because I took your class when I was in high school, now I'm here.
Well, and I also like the kids who are coming in who are brand new and this is their first job and they're able to like really grab hold of it and be like, this is cool. It's not a powered trip, but there's that responsibility of being that person in someone's life.
Well, and watching them grow. And
I love that.
And get really good at something that's really so satisfying as a manager.
I can see something in them that they don't see, and I'm like, you need to do this.
Yeah.
And I'm going to push you to do this, and then they do it, and they're
just
like
your internship situation.
Yeah, they're like, I never knew I could do that, and I'm like, see now, like this is cool. So
right.
Those are good parts, but I just sometimes the peopling is hard.
It is. I know. Not all people are cut out for that role, and they think they might be, and then they get in it, and it's like just not a good place for either. Yeah. I'll cover that too when you ask me questions about my job. So then how was Texas State Aquarium? And what was your favorite thing there?
So one of my jobs, I went right after teaching when I was in the classroom, I learned I needed to get it out. I needed back in my world. And Texas State Aquarium hired me, and I was the director of education there for pretty much 3 years. What I appreciate about Texas State Aquarium in Corpus Christi was it got me back into my industry. It got me back to where I was supposed to be. It allowed me to grow into that leadership role, take that on. I was tasked with rebuilding and healing a very hurt department. I didn't know I had that skill set. And all of a sudden I have this skill set of being able to redirect, refocus everybody, get everybody back onto this is what we're here for.
Yeah.
This is what we're doing, and why we're doing it. Get your head up.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And making sure that, and
motivating them and
getting people the autonomy to do their job.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
And like, this is what you're here for. Go. Let's go. Let's make it happen. And, I learned that I had that skill set, and I was able to allow people and I gave the support, and I was allowed to gave people the room to do that and grow. And one of the most proud things I am from Texas is that I was able to bring together a group of people who was one of the best staffs I've ever had.
Nice.
Right before the pandemic, we were gelling and growing and making money and thriving, and everybody's being creative, and we're creating all these new opportunities, and camp was growing, and we were kind of bursting at the seams in some of the things, and then
COVID. Yeah.
So I appreciate TSA for that. Corpus is a tough place to live.
Fun place to visit, but
for an outsider, if you are not a Texan or even from the Valley or the South Texas, you have to get a tough skin.
Yeah.
And I'm a Colorado kid, and I am not a
the first year
Southern Belle in any way, shape, or form.
Well, there's
and I got a mouth, and you know what?
Was there a difference working in an aquarium that was right on the ocean?
Very much so, because with camp, we went fishing for one of the activities off the pier.
Wow. Okay.
We were catching drums and things like that off the pier. Turtles were coming in, and you could see sea turtles all the time. Dolphins were out there. So wildlife viewing was awesome.
Yeah.
I think one of the other differences is that it was a smaller it was the smallest facility I've worked at as far as
that's true. Yeah.
Square footage, gallonage, and like size of exhibits. it was smaller. So that was a little different. Trying to build trust with people who I knew through the industry who knew people who I knew, and then were like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, "Well, call them and they'll tell you," you know, kind of things. But it was a place I needed to be to get myself back.
Yeah.
And that's what it was for.
Okay.
So
Okay, so to expand on that a little. Well, not on Texas, but you already alluded to some history there with Ocean's Journey / the downtown aquarium. I know for a fact that you were there as it was Ocean's Journey.
yeah.
And I do believe you were on the ground floor with
I was
that.
one of the opening day staff. I was original staff. Yeah.
So go ahead and talk about that.
So Colorado Ocean Journey opened July 21st, 1999. July 15th. I'll have to look at my I'll get you the correct date.
July.
No, June. Sorry, June.
Oh.
It was June.
Oh.
Because the ironic thing is that when we reopened as Downtown Aquarium, it was also June.
Okay.
It was June something or other. I'll have to get you the right date.
Okay.
Anyway, I was hired on as opening day staff, but I was hired on in April of 99 as one of the founding education department members. So I was helping do volunteer training. I was helping do creation and writing of programming. A lot of the classes that are still around today, we wrote in 99. They've been modified and kept up to state standards. But that's what we were doing. So I was one of the original staff persons opening day in 99. In 2003, Ocean Journey, and this was, 9/11 didn't help.
No.
So again, the not-for-profit economic stuff, other things that were contributing to that, they filed bankruptcy in 2003, and we were taken over and purchased by Landry's Restaurants Incorporated, and then were rebranded and reopened as Downtown Aquarium Denver on June 5th, 2005.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a 2-year period where we were kind of this thing. We didn't really have a name. We're still Ocean Journey, but we were Downtown Aquarium. It was this weird thing. And then exhibits were redesigned. The whole pathway was redesigned, and we were reopened in 2005. So that's my history. I had a moment where I wasn't, and then I was part of that original staff. So that's part of going through takeovers. Second one, same day. That's what was gross about it, though, is that when I was taken over or had to take over in California, it was the same day in March as it was in Colorado.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah.
So I'm not a big fan of March 3rd.
Do you think that might have had something to do with the financial calendar?
No.
Oh.
No.
Well,
That's a
because
good question.
No.
I would actually.
No, they were on.
It would.
They were on a calendar year, fiscal year, not a
Not a weird
weird
fiscal
fiscal
year.
Okay.
year. It just happened to be. So I'm not a fan of June or March 3rd. Sorry. Anyway, so I was able to bring that on, and the comfort of being, and we're a for-profit now, so that's another difference, is that now we don't have to necessarily worry about not having money. What we have to worry about is making money,
Right.
which is a very interesting mind flip.
Oh, sure. Yes. Yeah.
It's, do we have enough money to pay people on one side of the coin? Now I need to make enough money to earn my keep.
Yeah.
To keep paying
sustain that
people.
To keep paying
department.
people.
Yeah.
But I have to keep, I have to make more money every year.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do fundamentally is exactly the same. I just have to make sure I'm making money. Whereas in the not-for-profit, you just have to break even, make a little more.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I've always been in a revenue generating department, so that's not a big difference, but it's just, I've always run and worked that mindset of that I have to pay for myself, pay for my people, cover expenses, and then make a little more to pay for that person over there.
To turn it in and grow your education program
So,
and such. Yeah.
The big difference now is I have to turn a real profit.
Yeah.
So that's the only difference. But same stuff, same aquarium. We're the largest property, or one of the largest properties in Landry's. Any division, we are the largest aquarium they have. We are 3 times the size of Houston. If anybody's familiar with Downtown Aquarium Houston, we are 3 times their size.
Wow.
We are the biggest aquarium that they have. We are technically an aquarium with the restaurant, where every other concept and sister location is the opposite. They're restaurants with an aquarium. We're the other way because our exhibits are the primary real estate in our building.
Well, yeah, because it was an acquisition of a real aquarium.
Right.
Yeah.
And having dove in 2 of your largest habitats.
You've been in all 3.
Oh, that's right. I have been in all 3.
Mm-hmm.
But having dove in all of them, I can attest that, that's some acreage.
Yeah.
That's some acreage in 3 dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
Not just the 2 dimension, not just floor. It's
we're big.
Length,
we're
width,
bigger.
height.
Yeah.
You know.
We're bigger. So.
Yeah.
So anyway, I've been here in Denver since 99 working and doing that with the little break to teach school, but then I'm back. So.
Yeah. So I'm going to change gears on you for a
Okay.
little bit. We're going to stop talking about fish and mammals. We're going to start talking about insects because you did do a stint at the Butterfly Pavilion. So did you have a favorite insect?
I do. It's called the vinegaroon.
Okay.
It's technically not an insect. It's an it's a arthropod. It's related. It's like, it looks like a scorpion and it looks like a tarantula. It's really cool there. It's also known as a whip scorpion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So they actually have a really long tail and they generate vinegar as a defense mechanism for other things, like to get rid of things. And they whip their tail around and spray the vinegar around.
Okay.
But they're actually super sweet. They're really, really chill little inverts.
Okay.
But and they look alien, but I think I just think that's really cool.
That's fantastic.
So, I love them. I love me a vinegaroon.
Vinegaroon.
And I'm also a big fan of jewel beetles. I think beetles
Right on.
They're so beautiful.
Right on.
so
Right on.
stinking beautiful. If you want to see art in nature, just look up beetles. Jewel beetles in particular. They are stunning.
They really are.
Those are
okay.
Yeah.
What's your least favorite, if not insect, thing at the Butterfly Pavilion? Because it has more than butterflies.
It's an insect zoo.
Yeah.
I guess not least favorite. It's just my least favorite to handle, just because I didn't want to die. Was the black widows.
Oh,
okay. Yeah.
And everything was fine. It was all done above board. Everything was very safe.
Yeah.
But they're also we live with them, and human error happens, and you just were terrified that I'm not going to be the time that I'm going to drop.
Right.
Because all you have to do is just
drop it once.
That one thing that will scare them,
and then then you have to kill it, and then you have paperwork to fill out, and it's ridiculous.
Exactly.
So anyway, just because of knowing, I could say the same thing about the scorpions.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just some of those venomous things are not my favorite.
Well, they're dicey. Yeah.
Just because of handling.
I think
because I was going to say they all have their place, right?
They all. I think there was the space they hold in nature is fine. I don't. I'm the one handling it, so if anything goes wrong, it's me that gets hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
So I was always very cognizant that I was going to take a bullet for the whole room, which is still true. Anything that I'm handling, any animal I'm working, I will take the bullet for you. I will get in the way. It will get me before it'll get you. And that's the nature of my work.
Sure.
Right.
So I just, those things hurt.
There's
a lot of pain involved, and I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan.
But you haven't, nothing ever happened, right?
No, I'm here. I'm fine. All my digits. Yes, I've been bit by a shark. Yes. I have been bit by a snake. Yes. been bit by a parrot, had 4 stitches in my lip. Worst bite
I remember that.
Yeah, worst
Okay.
bite I've ever had though came from a child.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
There you
Okay.
go.
There
the
you
most
go.
dangerous thing in
that I've ever worked, and I have always trained the scariest animals in the facility, the people.
Yes.
I'm dealing with
Humans-
the humans.
yeah,
and they're
humans
the
are the worst
scariest
part.
ones that are out there. So
As a
Anyway.
behaviorist,
Yeah.
I'm sure you're like, they're the most unpredictable. They're the most.
they talk back and
Yeah, right. If you had all the money and education in the world, what would be your dream job?
I'm doing it.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I can't imagine doing anything else. And I feel very content in my work. I feel very successful. I know I'm doing the right thing because not only am I feeling successful, I'm seeing success in other people.
Nice.
I'm
Yeah.
seeing growth. No,
Because this is the way.
and I don't want to sound like it's all me. It's not me. I just have a lot of people. I have great support
yeah.
where I'm at. I never thought I'd be back where I'm at, but I am, and we're all thriving, and things are. Again, I had to repair some things that were happening, and just get us refocused and get us back to doing what we're supposed to
But
do.
now, after the years of experience
Yeah.
you've had,
I know
it's never easy, but at least you know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's keeping, knowing why you're here. What are you here for? What's our job?
Yeah.
Focus
What's your
on
mission?
that,
Yeah.
and then let's move forward. Let's make that happen.
Right. Right.
Everything else doesn't matter.
Right.
We're
Put
gonna
your
make
energy
that happen.
here. Yeah. I like that.
That'll make you feel successful and relevant and wanted and needed in your job.
Mm-hmm.
Is doing your job,
Right. And doing it well.
doing it well. And I'm gonna hot take here. I'm not here to make you feel good.
Right.
I'm not here to help you validate your existence. What I'm here to do is support you in doing the work that you're called to do so you can find that on your own.
Exactly.
Because that's not my job. I'm not here to make you feel good. I'm here to give you the platform to do the work that you're called to do. So then you learn how to feel good.
Yeah.
In that work.
Yeah.
I know that might be a
No.
difficult thing to hear, but that is my approach to it.
It is definitely the
Not-
manager's role.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
not going to handhold you. I'm not going to.
Other than to clear roadblocks
Yeah,
that are,
well, they're not
that
gonna
you have to
baby you.
escalate
I'm not
or
gonna-
whatever. No.
I'm not going to be. You're an adult. You're
Exactly.
doing adult things. I'm not. It's no longer school where I'm going to hound you to get your work done.
Well, and
You gotta
that's
get your work
probably,
done.
you were saying having folks that are right out of school,
Mhm.
that must be a big lesson for
big
them.
lesson.
Because I tend to hire more senior
Yeah.
folks. And so I haven't had that experience in quite a
Yeah.
long time of that, oh, this is your first job out of school.
Well,
and like,
and-
here's the expectations. And there's no final at the end of this. I mean, every day is your final.
Yeah.
and-
Well, and I'm not going to. I have a bunch of people I have to make sure are
Yeah.
thriving.
yeah.
And if you're in a space where things are a little, and I notice these things, it's not that I don't notice that
Sure.
people, get a little quiet, change a little bit. I'm not going to hunt you down and be like, how we doing? If you need something, you got to talk to me about it, and then
Yeah.
I will help you. But it's not like high school where your teachers are going to come and I've noticed that your work has decreased lately. What can we do? I'm not going to, I got my own stuff plus yours. So let's get, what do you need so you can do your job?
How big is your staff?
I currently have 14 people.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Yeah. Mine's that big now, but I'm working on
Yeah.
changing that.
So anyway,
But yeah,
that's my little soapbox of,
I
I don't
it,
want to sound mean, and I'm very empathetic. I'm very attuned to what's going on in my
but
people.
communicate.
But you got to
Mhm.
communicate to me, and I am here to do the work. I'm not here to be a therapist. But I want to make sure that you have everything you need to do that job.
All right.
I don't even know if that answered the question.
It did.
Okay. I don't remember what the question was.
Your dream job.
Oh, okay, I'm doing it.
That was it?
It's your turn now.
Wow, you asked both questions.
I did.
Okay. Let's see. All right, we're going to go back to mammals.
Yay.
We're going back to mammals.
Okay.
And What's your favorite animal?
Don't ask me that because it's like asking me for my favorite child, which I don't have.
Well, I'm sorry I asked it. So there it is.
No, it's like
you know?
one of those things that's kind of it's a running joke in the like.
I think I wrote that question
Don't ask me my
actually.
favorite animal. I have favorite behaviors
Okay.
that I enjoy seeing in a variety of animals. And one of the behaviors that I really enjoy studying is social behaviors and social structure. And animals that have these hierarchies, or not even hierarchies, that just they come together and they are in community and they're working together to achieve the things they need to do, and seeing how that works, and that kind of blowing myths and ideas of just because you think it looks cool doesn't necessarily make it cool. So favorite behavior, social structure. So one of my favorite animals in that space is elephants. Elephant social structure and how elephants work together, and that matriarchy, and then how the males come in and how the males are taught to be good boys by their moms, and how the females are teaching the boys to be respectful, smart, intelligent men. Elephants is insanely cool. Plus all of the ideas of aunts and aunties, which is kind of why I like this, play a big role in mothering the babies. In fact, they are around their aunts. After they're weaned, they're around their aunts and their cousins and the juvenile females more than they even are their own mother.
Wow.
So those females are the ones who are actually involving themselves and modeling the growth
And socializing and educating.
socializing and educating the little elephants more than even their mothers are.
Wow.
So, and the grandmothers play an integral role in making sure that everybody gets their crap together, and y'all are doing it. Like the matriarch, she's not even, the grandmothers aren't necessarily the matriarch and the leader of the herd, but they are definitely making sure that the older females make sure that everybody is in line and that you're paying attention to the matriarch so that y'all can find food and water. So I find that very, very interesting, that social structure. The other thing, like this whole perception that dolphins are these wonderful, amazing things. They're jerks. And I mean, I love me a dolphin. I love training them. I love being part of that. I think they're fascinating. I think they're a great animal to tell a lot of stories, but they will drag you down and almost drown you faster than you'll blink an eye.
Mhm.
Like they have
Just because they can.
well, they're vindictive.
Yes.
And there's malice, and they hold grudges.
Yep.
And that's part of their social structure too. So that's part of the things that make them very interesting, is that if you tick one of them off in the pod, dude, it's going to be a long time. And there has to be, they work it out and they have conversations and they make sure that they clear the air, so to speak. It's very anthropomorphic, but it does happen.
Mm-hmm.
But man, if we as humans don't understand dolphin etiquette and dolphin culture, you're out.
Yeah.
You're out.
Yep.
And so those are the things that I kind of find fascinating in my world, and the more that we learn about them. I'm a big fan of, I like training, and so learning about ways to train animals to help with their care, especially in my world, I think that's the coolest part. And watching wild animals to get those behaviors that we can capture in the animals that live in our care to help them thrive and be better is also really cool. So,
okay, so
sorry, that was a very long answer.
To add on to that, since you did not come up with a favorite animal.
No, I never answered that way.
Yeah, I know. And you talked a lot about animal behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a particular animal behavior that you witnessed that was almost an antithesis of what was taught in a textbook?
Not necessarily taught in a textbook, but I think culturally the dolphin thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think, you go in, and I'm a 12-year-old girl. Everybody, dolphins are amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And the reality is that no, they're not.
They're murderous jerks.
Well,
Yeah.
and there's 80 conical teeth in their mouth, and they use them, and
Mm-hmm.
that tail hurts.
Well, yeah.
And they slap everything with it. Water, other dolphins, fish. I mean, they'll play with puffer fish, this is also an interesting thing too. Dolphins will play with puffer fish and get them puffed up because a lot of puffer fish, when they puff, they release a toxin. And they'll play with them to get the toxin to get high. So they're addicts in dolphin. Yeah, I'm not kidding. So like those sorts of things, you don't learn that in like that culturally. You don't learn that.
No,
You know, dolphins smile.
No.
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 Another one too. Well, yeah, that's kind of the big one. Is just that
Okay.
I was saying it's not. I haven't necessarily. I've witnessed dolphins being mean, but not to mean to each other.
Okay. Okay.
Going a little away from your career, but this is a career-related question, is talk a bit about the importance of biodiversity in the ecosystem.
So one of the things I should have probably either minored in or also got a double major in is ecology.
Really?
Yeah. It's a big, you can get a degree in it now. I think it's kind of a growing science, but
Yeah.
so when you look at ecosystems and the world among us, everything is there for a purpose and a place. And it has to be there in order for everything to be in balance, first of all, and function as it was intended to. That doesn't mean that their natural things trump stuff. Where I believe we're all part of that. Humans are part of that. We're not necessarily greater than that. We are part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So there is balance. There is working together. There's understanding that things are supposed to be there. And when you take something away, that affects the function of the whole thing and eventually all of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I think, biodiversity is integral in making sure that the world habitats, we as people are able to thrive and do what we're supposed to do. So that is usually that's not my pat answer. That's my answer when I'm asked about all of that.
Yeah.
One of the biggest things that is in my world right now is that, the ocean is the biggest feature on our planet. 3/4 of our planet is water.
Right.
70% of that is salt water.
Mm-hmm.
So the biggest thing on our planet is one of the furthest things away from us here in Colorado. But what we do upriver here impacts it greatly. So what we do to our freshwater systems and that water traveling downhill is going to impact it all the way along the line. So we are not separated from ocean systems in any way, shape, or form. In fact, we are the start of them being in Colorado, even with the headwaters of one of the most legislated rivers in the United States.
Yep.
So we have a huge responsibility to make sure that it starts well.
Mm-hmm.
And what we have to do to make sure that everything has a good beginning where it's going.
Very
Yeah.
true.
And our ocean systems, if they get stressed, we see that impact. And we saw Colorado, we had a terrible winter.
Mm-hmm.
We had a terrible winter because our ocean systems have had some stressors on them. Is it cyclical? Is it part of the natural order of things? Probably. We've seen things like this before. And I think this is one of the worst winters I remember.
Yeah, I agree.
But that doesn't mean that we haven't had an impact on how those cycles could be better or worse.
Mm-hmm.
So
they're getting more
they're
extreme.
getting more
potentially.
extreme.
That type of pattern is becoming more frequent.
More frequent,
Yeah.
because of the uses of those resources that we have on this planet.
Yeah.
Just because we can doesn't mean we should.
Exactly.
In some ways,
Exactly.
and some things. So, we just have to be willing to step back and understand that this is not being crunchy or woke. This is being realistic of the planet that we live on, the resources that we're given, and how we're supposed to be excellent and proper stewards of that. That is our job. Thank you.
Yes.
And I think that it's not a political statement. That is what we're supposed to do.
Agreed.
So there's that answer.
So this one could either be This one might be funny. I don't know. Which is,
Well, let's find out.
what is one bizarre biological adaptation that even science fiction writers wouldn't come up with?
I think they've tried to, but this is one. Okay, there's the anglerfish at the bottom of the ocean.
Yep.
The females are giant. It's in the one in Finding Nemo.
Yep,
The
with
light.
little light. Yeah.
Okay. The females are the giant ones. The males are these little things that look like the scrubbing bubbles, and they're frankly little parasites. And what they do is they latch onto the female, and then they like grow into her tissue.
Wow.
So they're literally a parasite on her and get nutrients because they become part of her body, and they are there strictly to produce sperm.
Wow.
So he's not an independent living thing. He is a parasite on the side of her that has melded himself to the part of her body and has becomes part of her blood system. All of that gets
Wow.
connected, and he's just there he's a baby daddy.
Well, there you are.
That is something.
There
that
you go.
Even science
Stranger than
fiction-
Star Trek.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's that.
All right. All right, Chuck, close us out.
All right, here it is. It's the last question. Here we go. And it's a dumb one. It's a cheeseball question. So what does the future hold? What's
I
next?
have no clue.
You have no idea what's next.
I
huh?
don't. I mean, I'm doing what I want to do. I'm feeling good about where I'm at. I would like to travel more, but that requires more money, and yeah, good luck on that one now.
Well, sure. Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting to a place where retirement is closer than the start of my career.
Sure.
So
You still have a ways to go.
I do have a ways to go, but but the reality is I'm closer to that
Oh,
than I
sure.
am
Yeah.
college.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know yet, and I'm excited to see where I go with
Well,
that.
here's a sort of an ancillary question to
Okay.
it, sort of an add-on. Have you ever thought about research?
No, I don't want to be I'm not a lab rat.
Okay.
I get it.
Two people.
Not even in the field, huh?
I love the idea of it. The doing it there is a way more paperwork. No, and I'm
Yeah.
not joking about that.
No, I know,
You're
I know.
absolutely right.
Like
yeah.
you have to apply for grants, and you have to write a grant, and you have to write a report to the grant people of the things you've done. So you're doing more of that than you're actually doing your research.
Right.
Mhm.
I don't have a research question that I'm curious about.
Okay.
So and that's where I know I'm not a research scientist.
Okay.
What the scientist I am is I take that data and then teach people about it so they understand what the research scientists are trying to answer and figure out.
Right.
And
That is my
Right.
role.
the term interpreter.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's, well, kind of, yeah. I
mean,
guess
you're
I'm
taking
interpreting science.
You're
which
taking
seems,
that hard, complicated
Stuff
data
and telling
making
you
it
about it.
friendly.
So that's where I have not ever been one to want to be a research scientist.
Okay.
So that, yeah, no.
What about playing along with other people's research?
I mean, I love the idea of citizen science. There's a group out of Denver called the Katie Adamson Conservation Fund. They do citizen science all the time. They're out in, they're going to go to Borneo and do orangs in October.
Wow.
They do elephant stuff. They do snow leopard stuff. The aquarium is huge in sending people and staff to do their sea turtle and sloth things in Costa Rica. They're a big partner, and we've provided funds for several research projects that are happening in Costa Rica with sloth and sea turtle, which is huge. And, being part of that, I would love to be one of the people on that trip.
I was going to say be on the
So
ground, but not have to do all
and
the
not have to
paper.
do it. And it's really the fun part of that is that it is a vacation. So
I
you
mean,
spend
sure.
about like 4 or 5 days doing the research,
Mm-hmm.
and then the rest of the time you're kind of you're being a tourist,
Yeah.
but you're doing ecotourism kind
I was
of
going
things.
to say you're doing
No.
that.
Margaritas at the midnight buffet.
No, no, and that's not a joke, Chuck, because the people who Dave Johnson, who is the director, he used to be one of the pachyderm keepers at the zoo.
Mm.
He's a big marg guy.
I see.
Dave is great.
Okay.
If
Okay.
you guys want to go, I'll have Chuck put the link in the description of the
Sure.
Katie Adamson Fund.
It'll go right around here.
They take anybody. You do have to pay for your way to go, but you are doing hands and feet ground research
Right.
and taking data for those researchers, but it's also based in ecotourism, so it's really cool. And they're out of Denver.
Yeah.
That's out of Denver.
The actual clickable link will be in the
In
description.
So, and they're great. And I would love to be part of the KACF stuff. So, and because I've known Dave for a while, and people, so it's good stuff.
Nice.
So
That would be cool.
yeah, I would do that. I would not do my own research project.
Okay, well, and there you have it, folks. That's Alyce.
Yay! That was
That's
fun.
Alyce.
I liked that.
Yeah, that was a good session.
Are you exhausted?
No, I talk for a living.
That's true. That's
I talk
true.
about this stuff for a living, so this is like
this was
no big deal.
Just no big deal.
Right.
Okay.
But that's Alyce. Now you know exactly a little, well, not exactly, but you know a lot more about her.
You know me as the scientist, which is...
And I wore my Women in Science t-shirt in
Yeah.
honor of Alyce.
I want to end with this. I am very proud to be a woman in STEM. I'm very proud to be a scientist. And I think that I want that to be understood, that my place and my calling in this world is to do this work. And I know I'm doing the right things because there's success. I have peace about what I'm doing, and I'm putting things out and investing in other people who are also finding that success. So I'm very proud of the scientist that I was designed to be.
And there you have it.
I like it. That was a good ender.
Thank you.
So there we are, folks. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you very much for coming along. Thank you very much for entertaining us, trying to entertain you. If that makes any sense.
If anybody has any animal questions, you can put them in the comments, and I'll do my best to try and answer
She will read them.
those. So
She will.
I will.
Yes.
It's my job to teach you about critters. So there you go.
All right. Again, thank you for joining us. Please, if you like what you're seeing here, if you like what you've stumbled upon, please hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you never miss a new one that's coming up. And remember, we've got 2 more of this particular type of episode coming up. Next one's going to be about Chris, and then I'm going to take the hot seat. So, other than that, thank you again for joining us, and we will see you again in 2 weeks, this time without fail, because I'm not sick this time.
Yeah.
Anyway,
We've all
thanks,
three
folks.
had it this time.
Bye.
Bye.